Drop it.
Where is he? I have waited for long. Come here, but masuk.
Yeah,
Sit down, please sit down.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, no problem. Do you want to drink?
No, I know.
Okay. Let's get started.
Yes, thanks. Hello everyone, meet again with me, Asfa, and this time I was with a professional photographer, namely Mr. Rafi. Hello Sid, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm very well, thanks. So many I interview about a photography.
Yes. Okay, no problem.
So first, when did you get into the world of photography?
When talking about photos, there must be a hobby and career. If a hobby is from a small hobby of taking photos to high school, and then around to 70 years ago, began to seriously enter the commercial world. I have been thinking about how to become a photographer.
Wow, it's been a long time. It means you are engaged in the world of photography. Is there someone behind all this that inspires you?
Definitely, the inspiration from my family environment, especially my father, because he is always the one who supports to take picture. I still keep her camera that until using a film roll. Even the most inspiring can be saved from the environment and friends.
I have read on the site when you were at a university workshop. You said you sold your father care to buy a camera. You can tell me about it?
In essence, the era of photo equipment is not like now, with many variations that are easier to many options. In the old days, there were only a few choices and it cost quite a lot to become a photographer. The point is when it's serious, whatever it is, we have to do as long as it is good and can produce positive things. But it's not to be imitated for fear misunderstanding.
Wow, but at last you can prove to your father in your success in becoming a professional photographer. Talk about strobes. Since when and now where with the strobes technique?
For strobes, at the time in America began to be published in 2006, where at the time in Indonesia, if you play lighting, definitely use a large and heavy lighting studio. When in 2007, I tried to get their community in America, finally learning and having friends from there. I began to study in 2008, made a container called ID Strobes. Yeah, you can search in social media or Facebook about ID Strobes. But now it is starting to get crowded. It is proven today that young people, if you want to learn lighting, definitely use a flash.
So the strobes was originally from America and you helped publish it in Indonesia. When discussing difference, what the difference between strobes and studio lights? It's like monoblock?
Actually, the mechanism is the same, namely using a strobe light or flash. The difference is that the strobes uses a small external flash that is wireless, doesn't use a cable and only batteries. The studio lights are big and heavy and require electricity. Strobes is more comfortable and does not require electricity. If you keep shooting the electricity out, we have nowhere to stop having to keep on taking pictures.
So for result in almost the same, but for difference in size and durability. In your opinion, what's interesting about a strobes?
When talking strobes, of course you have to understand the benefit why it can be created. The strobes was created to mix light between available light and artificial light, because if we take a picture, sometimes we to take a picture outside, which is an obstacle if you don't use a lighting. It might follow the sunlight, but if you use artificial light, we can make a better concept. So it's not possible to go up the mountain using a studio lights and generator. Now with the strobes, we become facilitated in matters of lighting.
Of course, there are many advantages, ranging for more simple and complex when carried. That complicate small size, the result are almost equivalent to studio lights. But are there any drawbacks here?
In certain circumstances, the power is different from the power source. Therefore, to choose flash, you should choose wheel because there is inconsistent power. The most important thing is the use of the strobist modifier, such as umbrellas and another tools, must be precise or must be more thorough too.
Wow, apparently there are strong tests for beginners here. What is the first equipment that must be had to learn strobist, sir?
Of course, you must have a camera, flash, and trigger. Do you know trigger?
No.
Oh, trigger is a device that makes the flash turn on. If you want to learn first, use white paying to recognize general modifier. Later, if you understand it, you will enter the dual flash stage.
Wow, quite simple. For the equipment, by the way, I have read on your website. Can you tell me the beginnings of the opportunity to take picture of Jokowi?
Oh, this is. So I specialize in photo of portraiture and food. When I was taken by a photographer, I had to take picture of influential people in this country, so people would trust me. With not that they had to be paid. At the time, I was photographing the CEO, director, public figure. Suddenly, got an offer to take a picture of Mr. Jokowi 2 days before he was appointed. Finally, I went to Solo and photographed him and his family. Since then, I have started to be considered a portraiture photography.
It's amazing. So could say it's one of your best work.
Yeah, arguably one of them.
By the way, sir, we have talked about portrait photography. Now about food photography. Have you ever read a book about food photography series?
Ah, yes, that's it. I have it. It's very difficult to find a book because it's sell everywhere. Moreover, the content of the book are complete. Where are the lighting, placement, and data?
Means your book is selling very well intelligently. What ideas were created to make the book?
I used to try learning food photography with my friends too. Finally, it went on to become my field. Since then, I met with a Gramedia publisher and finally, I made the book. When making a book, I wanted my book to different and finally, I made a concept book for me. First time in Indonesia because the book I wrote tells about a case study between me and a client. The only book that has the one in sim.
It's proper to sell. Well, it's turned out that your book is very complete in contents. Are there the most difficult claims requests?
Almost clients are difficult because in this wood, the most difficult to the photograph Indonesia cuisine. Why? Because there is no good Indonesian food, but good to eat. That is the most difficult challenge because after all we have to take responsibility for everything.
Certainly must be patient and thorough. Does food photography require a lot of teams?
In this process, all of us definitely need a team, but to arrange the food to be more attractive, of course it is a stylish food.
What photographer tools do you need the most, sir?
What is most needed for me to tilt shift lens? If it's the lightning, I do with strobist.
Tips and tricks for beginners. What when food photography? What, sir?
Maybe what should be considered is a composition and angle. We cannot equate the angle and composition because each food is different. After photographing, we should never judge our own photos. Must be someone else.
So basically, all types of photography must master the composition and angle, yes, sir?
Yes, arguably like that.
Well, sir, maybe that's just the interview with me. Very inspiring and get a lot of knowledge.
Yes, good. I have the result and knowledge that can be helpful and useful.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Before that, I have someone gift for you. This is a hat I made from
Wow.
ID's Robis, namely ID's Robis, and I have a sticker for you. Maybe you can save it.
Wow, thank you, sir. This is best gift for me.
Yeah, okay.
Well, sir, I permission to leave go home. Thank you for attention, time, and gift. I hope you always success going forward.
Yeah, no problem.
Face it.
Yeah.